I watched the entirety of Fleabag last night, and I have a lot of thoughts about it. I'm not really a comedy person, and I'm not really a TV person usually, but I saw a couple of clips of Fleabag, and I was like, okay, I have to watch this. Fine, I will watch it. I watched the first episode, second episode, third episode, and was like, okay. I was tearing up, laughing my ass off, laughing so much. It was hilarious, it was unique, it was personable, and it really captured my heart. It really did. I thought that the depiction of sisterhood was so good between Claire and Fleabag. I have a sister, and we're very close, and it was full of love and betrayal and trust, and it was really fun to see them explore it. I thought the love interests were so realistically hateable, and the teeth made me laugh so hard. The teeth guy, whose name I don't even remember. I love that Fleabag doesn't have a name. She's just Fleabag. I love that Hot Priest doesn't have a name. He's just Hot Priest. The grief and trauma bonding from having this new lady walk in and be romantic with your dad not long after the death of your mother, when you haven't even gone through the stages of grief after your mother has passed, is so both ridiculous but also easy for the audience to connect to, I think. We've all had someone in our life that we don't like, and I feel like the writing for the godmother was so wonderful. The entire conversation around grief was perfect in this show. I thought it was so funny, so understandable, relatable, and really made you think about, am I holding on to grief that I haven't thought about? Because you can grieve so many different things, whether it's death or a potential relationship that you could have had with someone. And I think the fear aspect too, the entire theme of fear was even stronger than the grief for me, because Fleabag is afraid to be alone for the first season, and that's why she keeps going back to this Harry guy. And when he left finally, I was like, yes, get out of there. And I thought it was great. And keeping him away from her, and her him moving on, but also her deciding, not going to have this guy around anymore. And it was kind of decided for her, but after the tooth guy and the asshole guy, once she was done with them, and she decided oh, I'm not gonna do that anymore. The hiatus between seasons 1 and 2, I thought was really great, really moving, really it's kind of the first time that she faces her fear of being alone, because even after the death of her mother, she translates that love that she had for her mother onto Boo, and then Boo passed away, and she's like, okay, well, now I don't have anything. So, the fear is what roots you and keeps you stuck where you were before. Don't mess with the camera. My cat is sniffing the camera. Please don't mess with it. That's not what that's there for. Come on. Okay. But it's painful for her, but having random people fill in the gaps for her is kind of how she keeps from moving on, and how she keeps it from being painful. I think her becoming healthier and more successful during that hiatus is also saying a lot. It's hey, when you fix certain aspects of your life, other things follow suit. I love the relationship that Fleabag has with the camera, with the audience, because we represent her fear, and the year that we were away from her and she was away from us, she flourished. And then she plateaus again when we come back around, when the priest is there. And I think it's very a good choice to just kind of have the priest timeline as when the audience comes back, which is her fear returning, and her disappearing and him noticing that she's disappearing to talk to us is very it's a really great addition. And the foxes, of course, I loved the foxes being after him. I thought that was so funny, and I liked the redemption at the end for him. The foxes were real. But I thought the character growth too was spectacular. Like, not only Fleabag, but also Claire and her father, and the priest as well, sure. Her father talking to her before his marriage it was such a great conversation, and I loved the style. It felt on the street, it felt chaotic, and it matched really well for what Fleabag had going on in her life. Rude. I understand that a lot of people like would love a season 3, but I felt the ending was just so perfect. Her finally facing her grief and her fear and saying, okay, well, I've done it before and I can do it again. And you know, the ending, it had me in tears, but it was so satisfying because I was like, I don't want the priest to give up being a priest. I want him to continue being a priest, and I don't want them to try to do this like star-crossed lovers forbidden love situation, because that's boring and it's been done a billion times. And I really liked, you know, it'll pass, you know, like all things, it'll pass. And it was very moving. It was very satisfying. I thought the longing of the second season was so great because she didn't have that before. She didn't actually long for Harry to come back. She just wanted him as a filler, wanted someone to share a bed with. But the priest, she really cared for him and wanted him to be in her life, and she knew that he couldn't. But she still decided to tell him that she loved him because she was being brave. And it was hilarious and introspective and beautiful. And it made me cry a lot. From Fleabag being a bad person to being a good person to being just a person. And she was so multifaceted and interesting, and you know, she was her own version of an anti-hero. And cat, come here, come here. Hi. Anyway, talking about this makes me cry, but it was wonderful and beautiful and hilarious and all of those good adjectives. If I had worked on Fleabag, it would be, there's nothing I've seen that could top it. That'd be like my number one thing that I would brag about to everyone. It was so well written, it was so funny, the acting was spectacular. Olivia Colman is so evil and funny, and it was just so great. I thought it was wonderful, and I knew that I was going to love it, and I'm so glad that I watched it. I'm glad that I watched it all in one piece. I want to go on the journey again already. I'll probably watch it again this weekend. It was wonderful. It was so good. I want to watch it again.